is using a drill to drill out the holes so the elevator section can fit in there. There's 2 holes that has to be drilled out back here, and there's 2 here. The middle hole is for the wing nut bolt. The backer hole that has to be drilled out is for the second carbon fiber tube that's going to sit in place here. And then we have an aluminum tube that's going to sit here, which holds the wings in place. Now this section doesn't get epoxy. The elevator section is going to be getting 30-minute epoxy put back there, so I'll be using a Dremel to knock off some of the fiberglass to get to the wood so I get a good epoxy section back there. I also have epoxy here. I have a rotary set in case I need it to make the hole open and more smooth. Rarely do I need it, but I have it here just in case. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is drill out these holes here. Slide tube 1 in here, make sure it fits in there pretty perfect. Don't want to over drill the holes either. So you can see the carbon fiber tubes are in there, and that's what's holding the elevator section inside, with some 30-minute epoxy in there on each side and some painter's tape. So now that I have these drilled, I'll remove these because I still have some more drilling to do here. I'm going to go ahead and drill right here where the line's already shown for you. Slide this in here to see if it fits. It needs to be drilled just a little bit more. That's how we get that. So we got hole 1. We'll go ahead and slide the aluminum tube inside there also. We'll go ahead and put the other carbon fiber tubes back in the back here. So this is what we have. These are all the wing tubes that's going to be held in here. There are some more that's going to be sitting here, but I'm not ready to move on to that part yet. I'm just trying to get a dry fit test to make sure everything lines up. See how it sits. It should start looking more like a Tucano here in a second. So let me grab the wings here, pre-mix my 30-minute epoxy, grab some painter's tape, and we'll go ahead and epoxy the back, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the Dremel. Okay, so I've already got my epoxy here pre-mixed. So for the elevator section, I'm going to be using a Dremel. It's going to drill out a little on both sides. Drill out a little on both sides. That could be a little messy. But let me show you here. here in the back, I've just made deep marks to where I can see the wood at. So when I set the epoxy cures to the actual fuselage itself. It also cures on the inner side, which is wood. So my epoxy is already pre-mixed. I'll go ahead and slide the wing tubes back in here. Add some epoxy inside of each hole, which the wing tube will slide into. Little dab of 30-minute epoxy, smoothing out on here. Doesn't take a lot. Slide the tube in there, make sure there's epoxy in there. I can feel it because it's going in there tight. Do the same thing with the second tube. A little bit more epoxy around the tube itself. Now spin the fuselage to its side and drop just a little epoxy on here too. Smear it out on here, especially in the areas where I use the Dremel at. Slide it in here. It slides in there real nice and tight. So we have one side on. Do the same thing to the other side. Add a little epoxy in the wing tube hole. Smear some epoxy on the sides here. Dab a little bit on the side of the fuselage that's going to be connecting here. Make sure we get a good bond. Quite see over there, so we'll do this here. There we have it. There we have it. Tail section being applied.